Right, so we're in Substance Painter and do something in it. So before we do any texturing, I want to just get some split lines into this so we can see how we're going to break this model up more. And then if we do this first, then we can bake that information out and reapply it, and then that will have a more dramatic effect on the actual materials we apply. So first thing we're going to do is try and put some split lines in. I'm just going to go into viewer settings and we're just going to quickly chuck the wireframe on so I can see where the wireframe actually is. If you want to draw directly onto this model and you want to have a bit more control, up here is you've got perspective view or F6 for orthographic view, and if you want to lock the view port, if you hold Alt and Shift down and move it, it will lock into place. So kind of like, yeah, what we had in ZBrush. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some split lines in, and the way we do that is with a height map. So the way we're going to create a height map is up here we are going to add a fill layer, and in this fill layer we are going to make sure that it has no normal map information, no metal information, no roughness and no colour. So the only thing that's selected, the only channel we can see is height, and this is a channel for height. So initially I'm going to push the height down, so a minus value is an innie, a positive value is an outie, and you can see this does absolutely nothing, and this is because the height map is essentially a visual effect. It's not anything that's really happening. So if you do this the same consistency over the whole object, nothing's drawn into this, then it's not going to make any difference. So what we need to do is we need to mask this height layer and then paint into the mask, and the mask will expose the height map in the areas we want to. So to do that, I'm going to click on this fill layer. I'm going to give this a name, this high line. I'm going to add a black mask. So a black mask will basically cancel out anything that's happening in here, and then within that I'm going to add a paint layer, a paint command. So basically this will allow me to paint back into this without affecting it. It'll only affect what happens in this paint layer, not what happens here. It's just good practice. So if I now paint, so I've got this selected and I paint into it with white, it will essentially, you can kind of see it up there, it's painted into the UVs, and in that area where I've painted, it's basically pushing the height in. So if I go back to my height layer, pull this down, you can see the effect it has. It's not actually creating height, it's just the illusion of height or depth. So back into here. So if I want rid of that, I've painted with white. That's set up here, the colour's white. This is my brush properties, so the colour there is white. I can change it to black by playing with this value, or hit X that we would do in Photoshop. I flip to white and black, which is really useful. But I need to be in the paint layer to be able to do that. Good thing about that is I can just switch this on and off. I've painted into there. There we go. So let's get on it. The old shift down, you can drag a line out, again. And across the front. So I'm just doing something quite rudimentary here just to show it off, but you can do whatever you want with this. I'm just following the lines for ease. You could do whatever you wanted. The other thing you can do is, so if we had those as innies and then we wanted to do an outie, then do the same thing again, add a fill layer, high, bump, and then again switch everything off apart from the height, but this time push the height up, do the same again. Add black mask, add paint, there you go, so you can make some quite complex shapes if you really want to. You could have there you go. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing we can do is we can use some of these alphas as stamps. Now what I've got here is I've got a free pack that I got from Jonas Rungard. He's got loads of these packs that are really good, but this one's a free one, so it's got some alphas in it that you can use. So if we load those in, so go to import resources, add resources, so here we go. If I select all of them, hit open, I'll drop those in. If I select all of them at once, go to alpha, it should switch them all to alpha. So basically they're coming in as TIFFs, we're telling them they're alphas, and then we put them where we want them to be. So in this time I'm going to put them on the shelf, so that means they'll be there every time I fire up Substance, hit import, and get them to install. Here we are. So now if we create a new fill layer, same again, do everything apart from height, this one down, call this one alphas down. I'm going to start to look at a few of these and look at where we could use them. So we've got these, it's great. So the way we apply these is we have to do them through the brush. So if we do what we were going to do before, which is add a black mask, then add a paint layer, then normally we can just paint detail in. But if we go to paint and we pick a brush, a more hard brush, then we go back to our alphas, find the new ones, Gero sample, there we go, select the one we want to use, say it's that one, and all we've got to do is select it and it'll use it as an alpha, or if you click on it here you can drop it directly into there, and then we can paint it directly in. I might want to set our texture to be a bit higher for this to happen, so that we get some nice detail like that. Now, if you're not happy with the direction, so you want to change its angle, you can hold control and left click, and it'll allow you to place it. So maybe we want to place it like that instead. You can see, because we're using, these are flipped using the same UVs, and we've got the same pattern on both sides, which is a bonus. Just got to find that out and put one of those on there as well. I'll have to do the same on the other side. What's we got? Right, so let's just say that's done. Put that in the off centre slightly, so I think I'm going to take those out. Big. Okay. So when it flips over, we see that. Okay, so that's our design. I'm not happy with it. So what we need to do next is we need to save all that detail out as a normal map and then load it back in.